Lord, please give me the strength to deal with any tantrums you send my way. Amen. Hey everyone, my name is Fuad, and welcome to the first installment of my series titled Present Parenthood, where mindful people become better parents. Today, I want to talk about something that's affecting everyone, regardless of their background, where they come from, where they live, and that is the unfortunate pandemic that we are currently experiencing. I mean, it's changed life as we know it when it comes to school, work, outdoor hobbies, gatherings. Life hasn't been the same for the past 6 to 9 months, depending on where you are in the world. And obviously, it's had an adverse effect on our day-to-day. A lot of us are working from home. A lot of our children are, remote learning and virtual learning from home as well. So it's been a big struggle. It's been a big adjustment. It's been a big kind of change in our normal day-to-day routines. And it's had a really big effect on our mental state for both adults and children. So I kind of just wanted to touch on what are some ways that we can be mindful of how they've affected us and make the best of this situation and be positive, because at the end of the day, if you're not positive, if you don't have a positive mindset and outlook on life, you won't be successful. With that being said, a lot of us adults are working remotely, and not having a physical separation between the place that you work and the place that you come home and rest can be very overwhelming. It could just cause a lot of restlessness, right? You don't feel that you can relax and let loose and let your hair down, for lack of a better term, when you're at home, because maybe a couple feet away is your home office. So you're never really completely separated from it. You can't leave your work at work, and you can't just be at home and be fully at home. And that's the same thing with our kids. They're used to coming home and just kicking back and having fun and relaxing and doing whatever it is that they're interested in at home when they're not at school. And now they're focused, or they're forced to have school at home. And if there's not an environment that's conducive to learning, I mean, it's very unreasonable and not realistic for us to expect them to do well when it comes to school. So one thing that has really helped me is kind of building a small little corner with a desk, chair, books, arts and crafts. And that doesn't have to be like a whole room. It could just literally be a corner in your basement, a corner in your living room, whatever works for you. That definitely goes a long way in creating an environment to where, okay, when your child is there, they know it's time to learn. They know it's time to pay attention. So a lot of our children are definitely suffering from not being able to go out to school and be with their friends, just be social, right? And the kids that are really suffering the most are the only children in the family who don't have any siblings, who don't have any cousins, whether they be close or distant, that they can just be themselves around and interact with and play with. Understanding that and understanding the importance of trying to make time to go to the parks, trying to make time to go outside and help them expend that energy as best as you can. It really does help them, and it kind of combats a lot of the frustrations that they have, and it could turn into tantrums. Like, you may even notice that your child is naturally very easygoing and naturally listens to directions and follows your lead, but lately you might have noticed that they're very irritable, or they're quick to throw a temper tantrum, or they just don't want to listen, or they're just being really, really difficult. It might not just be them just having a bad day. It might just be a collection of, not being able to exercise that social muscle that, every child craves. So just trying to be aware of that will really, really help, both in the short and the long term. Another thing that I've learned is that, planning is everything. If you fail to plan, then you better plan to fail. So building a schedule that works for your child, and having a routine and sticking to it. If you have breakfast every morning at 8 o'clock, and you have your warm-up activities at like 8:45, and you go outside to play for 30 minutes at 11:30, and you have your lunch at 12:30, and depending on how old your child is, you take a nap at 1 o'clock. Sticking to that schedule the same way that they have schedule at school really goes a long way. It's better for you, it's better for them. You can then plan your day accordingly, and especially if you have other caretakers that are in your home, your spouse, your non-biological caretaker, you may have an aunt, a grandmother, a cousin, a sibling. See if you can work together to build a schedule and try to split the load, right? Delegation and realizing that us as parents, we can't do everything on our own. You know, we try to, it's in our nature to be nurturing and protecting of our children and doing whatever it is at the sacrifice most of the time of our own well-being. But, you know, this situation that we're in, it's not normal. It's not something that we've ever really had experience in dealing with. So understanding that and knowing that you can't do it alone, requesting help when needed, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's encouraged. It's actually a sign of really smart leadership to know when you can't do something and to ask somebody else for assistance, right? If you have a spouse, if you have anybody else that lives with you that can help, you know, switch off where if you have a lighter workload during the day or during the morning time, then maybe you can attend to your children. And then if you have a lot of your meetings towards the afternoon, then, you know, somebody else can step in and pick up the baton and shoulder the load. It'll really go a long way because it'll help prevent burnout. Because once you're burnt out, your performance at work suffers, your performance at home suffers, you yourself, your mental state suffers. So then you're spread so thin across multiple different places that you sometimes even lack the motivation to do anything. That's not helpful for anybody, but more importantly, that's not helpful for you as a parent. You know, you have to be right within yourself before you can be right for anybody else. That's always really, really important. That's a point that I will continue to harp and continue to mention in different ways over the course of this series, is that you can't be the best parent that you can be unless you're the best person that you can be. You can't be the best husband, you can't be the best wife, you can't be the best employee, you can't be the best employer, whatever it is that you do outside, you know, whatever roles that you play or serve in, you can't fulfill those to the best of your abilities if you yourself aren't good within your mind frame, within your headspace. So that is all I have to talk about for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Stay tuned. There will be a lot more to come. So please like, comment, and subscribe for more material. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and please do share. Thanks. Take care. This is a public service announcement. I just want to give a great shout out to all teachers out there. Teachers, we have failed you. We have not respected you. We have not appreciated you. You do so much for us. We couldn't do any of this. It only took me a couple days to realize I'm not built for this. Without you all, God knows where we'd be. So whoever's in charge of paying teachers, I'm gonna need y'all to give them a raise expeditiously. They can't get enough money. If we don't have them, we're not gonna make it. We're just not. Please come back. Parents, if you've ever given your teacher a hard time, now's the time to apologize. Now's the time to make amends. Now's the time to realize how wrong we were. Let's face it, we can't do this alone. We need them. We really need them. I'm barely holding on.